Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So I want to talk a little bit about the Pacers because we're officially at the point where every win and every loss matters. There's 15 games left in the season after tonight's game versus Chicago. And I hope we beat Chicago. We beat OKC. We've had a lot of things go our way. I'm going to be honest. When Ben Mathurin went down, I was not very confident that this is a team that would avoid the play-in. I was like, okay, like this is a team that really needs to start taking advantage of, the Knicks being injured and Philadelphia being injured. We did get a little lucky. They split those two games. So Philadelphia lost one and New York lost one. The thing is, the Knicks won last night, but they did get OG Anunoby back, and it won't be long before they get Julius Randle back as well, and they'll be sort of back at full health. I think they're still missing Mitchell Robinson, so like the Knicks are still a very beat up team. They're just not as beat up as they were, but the thing is, tonight we play Chicago, and if it's one thing about the Pacers, one thing that I've learned is we can beat all the good teams, we can't beat any of the fucking bad teams, though. Which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing heading into the playoffs, because it seems like when we play bad teams, we play to their level, and we don't force them to play to our level. And after the loss that they had against, who was it? The Pacers, if I'm correct, are on a 3-game win streak, which is nice to see. Actually, no, they're on a 2-game win streak. It was against, I believe, San Antonio or Minnesota, one of the two, where Tyrese Halliburton came out and said, listen, like, we need to make teams play to our level and not play to their level, which I completely agree with, because that's been the fucking problem. But it's just the idea, like, there's been certain things I've looked at and I've been like, we did pretty good. Like, we beat, Oklahoma City last night, 121-111. We did get a couple favors, though, in the process. Miami has lost their last 3 games, and tonight they actually play Denver, and I don't think they're gonna beat Denver. If they beat Denver, I'd be very shocked. So I'm looking for the Heat to maybe lose 4 in a row. And the cool thing is, if we can beat the Chicago Bulls tonight, suddenly we'll be tied. We should be in 5th place or in the ballpark of 5th place. Orlando is 37-28. I don't know if Orlando plays anybody tonight. Do they play anyone tonight? Yes, they play the Brooklyn Nets tonight, so that's a team they could potentially beat. However, looking at the final stretch here for the Pacers going out, we got in the final 15 games, we do play the Brooklyn Nets 3 times in those last 15 games. We also played the Lakers twice. We play the Pistons once, we play Atlanta once, and we play the Cavaliers twice. We play Oklahoma City once, we play Miami once, we play Toronto once, and Toronto was not an easy out, but we also played the Chicago Bulls twice. So the last 15 games of the season here is really a mixed bag. Enjoy watching Jalen Smith play as a Pacer, because I don't think he's going to be coming back in the offseason. I feel like somebody's going to offer him a hell of a lot more money than we can or will be willing to. We played Detroit once as well. So really these next 3 of these next 4 games we have to win. I'm just going to call it what it is. Like, no bullshit. 3 of these next 4 games we absolutely have to win. Tonight's game against Chicago, the next game after that against the Nets, we play Cleveland on March 18th, and then on March 20th against the Detroit Pistons. That Pistons game we have to win. Okay, like, we can't be doing this shit where we're dropping games to the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons and the Brooklyn Nets and the Toronto Raptors, and we played the Atlanta Hawks once. Like, it's not even really the good teams I'm worried about anymore. Like, I think we're going to lose to the Clippers on March 25th. The Clippers have just been playing out of their minds. But it's just the idea, like, in this final stretch, we really need to bear down. Like, we really need to get our shit together, and we basically have to hope other teams lose. The Knicks are one team that we really got to hope, like, takes a couple L's. The Orlando Magic are a team that we got to hope takes a couple L's. And the Orlando Magic's final couple games, they play Brooklyn tonight. Then their next 2 games are against the Raptors. Then they have the Hornets, the Pelicans, the Kings, the Warriors, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, the Trailblazers, their final 15 games is like significantly easier than our final 15 games. I'm just gonna say that. Like, yeah, you play the Pelicans twice, you played the Warriors once, but the Warriors are really not that good. You play the Clippers once. Houston's a good defensive team, but they're not a great team. They play Milwaukee twice, and the Sixers are dog shit without Joel Embiid. So, like, to close out the season, the Orlando Magic have an easier schedule than we do. I think Miami even has an easier schedule than we do. Going towards the past 15 games here for the Miami Heat, yeah, they played the Pistons twice. They played Denver tonight. They play the Sixers, the Cavs, the Pelicans, the Cavs again, the Warriors, the Trailblazers, the Wizards, the Knicks, yeah, like I'm going to be honest, the Miami Heat have a very, very nice ending to the season. We play them on April 7th, but they have the Atlanta Hawks, they have the Toronto Raptors twice, Detroit twice, they have the Wizards once, the Trailblazers once, the Warriors once, the Sixers once, the Hawks once. Like, their final 15 games, about 7 or 8 of them are against bad teams. So Miami is probably going to move up in the standings. You know, the Knicks, on the other hand, the Knicks are a team that I'm looking at here, but the Knicks going down the final 15 here, let's see, Portland, Sacramento, Golden State, Denver. I mean, even their final schedule is pretty easy. Like, they play Chicago 3 fucking times in their next 15 games. And Chicago's not a great team. They're okay. They're a 500 basketball team, but their defense is so fucking bad that they're a team that the Knicks should beat. They play the Pistons once. So, yeah, they play San Antonio once. They play Portland once. Sacramento's not the epitome of defense. They play Brooklyn once. Actually, they play Sacramento twice. They play the Milwaukee Bucks once. Yeah, like, the Knicks have a very easy schedule to close out the end of this season. Like, I would argue the Knicks and the Miami Heat both have easier ends to this season than we do over the next 15 games. So, yeah, we're really going to have to get our shit together, boys. And I just want to say this. Aaron Nesmith did a fantastic job guarding Shai Gilgeous-Alexander last night. Somebody posted it in the Discord that, like, when Aaron Nesmith guarded Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he shot like 1 of 6 and only scored like 2 points or something like that. So yeah, when we play OKC, we should probably continue to have Aaron Nesmith like guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander maybe for the entire game. But it's just the idea, man. This we're at the point now at the end of the season where it's like, you know, we really need to get our shit together. We can't be losing games to bad teams, okay? Like, we got to beat Detroit. We got to beat Chicago tonight. You know, like, we have to start taking advantage of playing against bad teams. Hopefully they make Chicago play to their level. The Minnesota Timberwolves game was kind of disheartening. Everybody has their opinions on that game about whether Anthony Edwards fouled on the block or not. I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch last night's game because I wasn't even home. I had to go play my APA League pool match in Bethel. But you know, it's just the idea, like, I got to see, like, the second half of the game. The fourth quarter was like, really where shit got serious. But it's just the idea, man, like, we really got to finish strong. And, you know, we really can't let up. You know, that's the thing. Like, these final 15 games, the Pacers really got to bear down. It's no longer looking at losses like, oh, well, it was, you know, there's 82 games left. There's 72 games left. There's 60-something. Like, we're down to the last 15. Every loss matters now, especially at this point when you look at the schedules for the Knicks and for the Miami Heat specifically. Those are the two main teams we got to look out for. Even Orlando has a very easy schedule to close out the year. We really got to perform. You know, like, we're a team that has to perform if we want to end up in that, you know, that 4 through 8 range. You know, like, granted, I think we're still going to be 4 through 8, don't get me wrong, but if we really want to be 4 through 6 or, you know, 5 through 3 even, and that's being generous, if we want to be in that range, we really can't drop games. You know, Tyrese Halliburton's going to have to play his ass off. You know, the Pascal Siakam pick and roll is going to have to be, you know, at its peak. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I really, you know, ever since Ben Mathurin went down, I've been like, you know, I've been looking to see if Jarris Walker gets more minutes and stuff like that. So this last 15 games of the season is really going to be interesting. There's a game tonight. I don't know what time it starts, but I would like to go play a couple games of basketball before it starts tonight, because at 6:30, okay, it's at 7:30, so I got about half hour, an hour. Maybe I'll go. I don't know. It's at my job, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll go play. But yeah, like I do want to watch the Chicago Bulls game tonight. I do want to see how this team performs, because I'm going to be honest, if we can't beat Chicago tonight, it's not looking good. You know, it's nice to see that Tyrese Halliburton's at least acknowledging that, like, things need to be changed. You know, I can't say my expectations for this team are really that high. Because I feel like anytime you go into the playoffs without Benedict Mathurin, you know, you've already got a lot stacked against you. But when we're still a competitive basketball team even without him. But if we get bounced in the first round, or, you know, if we make the second round, I'd be fucking ecstatic. But if we get bounced in the first round, I'm not going to really lose much sleep over it. Ben Mathurin's a guy that I think provides a lot to this team. Regardless of what people think of him on defense, I think he's a scoring threat. And anytime you have a guy on your team that's a scoring threat, he at least takes the attention off of somebody. And, you know, I really feel like this team's going to get shaken up a lot, too, in the offseason. I have a feeling that we're going to see, you know, Doug McDermott's probably not coming back. Just saying, like, I feel like we only traded him just to get something for Buddy Hield. Jalen Smith's a guy that might not be coming back. I just feel like someone's going to offer him way more money than we can. I'm hoping we keep TJ McConnell, but Andrew Nembhard's maybe a name that could be on the move. I don't know. You know, good defender, we'll say that, but I don't know if we could maybe do better. You know, that's the other, like, the flip side of the coin. I think Andrew Nembhard's a very good defender, but the question is, it's like, can you get something maybe better, you know, on the offensive end as well? Like, could you maybe trade him for a Matisse Thybulle? Could you maybe trade him, you know, maybe we could find a way to work around a trade for a guy like Grant Williams or something like that, like, just to add some more defense, you know, because this team really struggles on defense, and if we're not going to bring back Jalen Smith, maybe we could pull off a trade for somebody. I don't know. I don't really know what the offseason holds. I don't want to, you know, pre-speculate too much, but it's just the idea. I think this team, this upcoming offseason is going to change a lot. And I really feel like they're going to the front office is going to try to make an even bigger splash to try and put something, you know, even better on the court for us. So tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.